Hi, I'm Pastor Gary Rideout, co-senior pastor at St. Andrew's United Methodist Church with my wife Jane, and we are here in this Going Deeper series to talk about the sermon series that we're currently been following and ended this past Sunday on marriage and other difficult relationships. And this past Sunday was on an interesting concept, mutual submission in relationships and in marriage. So Jane is going to talk about that.
Gary and I actually met while we were in seminary. We both had a call on our lives. Gary's call was connected to the United Methodist Church, but mine was not. Once we got together and we got married, I became a United Methodist, and then I had to make some decisions about what pathway I would take in the United Methodist Church. Gary was taking the route of an elder, which meant that he would be in the pulpit, he would be preaching, he would be giving communion and doing baptisms. The other alternative is deacon. Deacon is a route where you are a bridge between the church and the community. It also is something, the elder is an itinerant route, which means you were appointed by the bishop. The deacon is not. At that time, we were considering having children. And all I could think of is it was going to be too hard for us both to be elders and have children. How would we work out the details? Who would take care of the kids when we both worked on a Sunday morning and we didn't have any family around us whatsoever? I was kind of consumed by that. And so there came a point when I declared to Gary, well, I'm definitely going to go the deacon route. It only made sense. One of us had to take that route, and it just thought it needed to be me. What that meant was that Gary would be appointed by the elder to a particular church. And as a deacon, then I would go with him, clearly, but I would find a job, a bridge ministry job in the area. And that would free us up on Sunday mornings, and so that I could be in charge of the kids. I remember that conversation. I will never forget it. I felt like that was the right thing to do. And then Gary pointed something out to me, and he's actually uncomfortable with me sharing this, but he was the first one to say, no, we're both called to be elders. The reality was, it wasn't about even submitting to each other. It was about submitting to God. I was so worried about the details. I was so worried about our children that hadn't even been born yet that I would be willing to change my calling. I was called to be an elder. And I had forgotten or lost sight of the fact that this submission was to God. It was God asking me to do. And I think that's really what was significant in my life. My husband saw that, and he helped me see that we both were called to submit first to God.
And what this meant is that when we're talking about submission, it's not really submitting to each other, it's yielding our submission to God. Both of us looking in the same direction, which meant that we had to serve each other. There were times that I had to take more of the load and she had to take more of the load. There's sometimes there. So we were serving each other, mutual servanthood, mutual submission, as we submit to what God wanted us to do, yielding our ultimate authority to God.
Thank you for joining us today. Next week, we're going to start a new sermon series, and the Going Deeper series will continue, but with another couple starting next week. We hope that you'll join us.